We will now come to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, honorable city council members, to our deputy clerk, our chief of staff, to those the administrative staff that are here, and to all of you that are here this evening, and also to those who may be viewing tonight's meeting via our broadcast channel or YouTube Live. Welcome to the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting, and today's date is Monday, July 24th, 2023. Members of the public wishing to participate in this meeting may do so under the public comment portion of the agenda. Please fill out a request to speak public comment card located on the table in the back of the chambers and hand it to the deputy clerk. And at this time, we will have a roll call. Councilwoman Abdo. Here. Councilman Barton.
Here.
Councilwoman Roscoe.
Here.
Councilwoman Talley.
Here.
Councilman Wadsworth.
Here.
And Mr. Chair, Councilwoman Webb and Councilwoman Williams will not be here this evening.
Excuse.
Thank you, and we have a quorum for tonight's meeting. And at this time, we will read the agenda. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. 3, petitioner. 4, chairperson's report. 5, mayor's report. 6, clerk's report. 7, treasurer's report. 8, public comment. 9, unfinished business. 10, new business. 11, warrant. 12, communication. And number 13, adjournment. And a motion will be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo for approval of the agenda as presented. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Number 2, minutes. For approval are the minutes from the regular meeting held on Monday, July 10th, 2023 at 7:30 p.m.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth.
I will move for the approval of the council meetings that was held on the 10th of July at 7:30.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Talley for approval of the minutes from the regular meeting held Monday, July 10th at 7:30. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, and motion is approved.
Thank you, council. There were no special meetings held on Monday, July 10th, 2023. Takes us to number 3 on the agenda, and the petitioner. We have, council, a petitioner this evening, and we have a special land use request, and we have a presenter, a representative, and his name is David Bruckelmeyer. And Mr. Bruckelmeyer, if you wouldn't mind going to the podium. And there is a PowerPoint presentation, and also you should have a hard copy
Right.
in front of you. Mr. Bruckelmeyer.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Again, as she stated, my name is David Bruckelmeyer with Sheets. I'd like to introduce a few people, namely just a group of people here. We've got Skilkin Gold, our real estate developers, as well as Becky Klein with PEA Group, our civil engineer, and then David Weinbrecht with North Point Development, who I think you know pretty well by this point. But thank you for having us tonight. I'd just like to take you through a quick presentation to tell you who Sheets is, what we're about, and what we're proposing. So what is a Sheets? We were started in 1952 in central Pennsylvania, and we started as a carry-out deli and a convenience store. And truthfully, when you look at what we have today, that's really similar to what we have. And in the 1970s, we evolved into adding fuel into our offering. So we really did start out as a deli convenience store and grew into fuel stations naturally. Picture's worth 1,000 words, so I just wanted to give you a good idea of what a normal, typical Sheets looks like. This is extremely similar to what we've proposed. Maybe a couple of little variations from the pictures, but this is what you're getting. This is what we're proposing. You can see we've got nice awnings. We definitely provide a full-size brick. It's not lick and stick. We have really good construction. These buildings do look really good when we're done, and we'll get to go through a few more pictures. This is our prototypical fuel awning. You can see we got a flat fascia. It's a very modern look. This is what we've proposed today for the auto canopy. This does not cover the diesel canopy. We'll get to that in a little bit. That's a little bit different. And then, of course, something that you may not have seen yet is kind of the inside of one of our buildings. This is a prototypical sheets. These are the finishes we use everywhere. We try to provide a very consistent offering, and this interior prototype lets us handle all of our made-to-order offerings from our restaurant, our pre-made foods, as well as all of our convenience items. So we really do strive to be a one-stop shop for all of our customers. Again, you can look over to the left. We've got inside seating for all of our customers that are doing made-to-order food. That's just a different view. You can see the cash counter and everything like that. And then what makes us unique? You can read through the slide, but here's what I'm going to tell you, is that Sheetz is a family. We own and operate all of our own 700-plus convenience stores at this point. We do not franchise. We take care of our employees like their family. Every store associate that works here gets the same benefits that I would as a corporate employee. So we provide health care, dental, vision, 401k, the list goes on. We have a really good benefits package for people that work in our store and operations who really handle the day-to-day. Another thing that we like to highlight about Sheetz is that we love to give back. We do so through a few organizations, and I won't go through everything, but we do have a Sheetz for the Kids, which is an annual fundraiser at Christmas time to help families in need at Christmas. Every store opening, we do a $2,500 check to Special Olympics. And in addition to that, we always try to find a local food bank to make a donation to. That's at every grand opening. So we really try to give back to the community. On to a few more of the details. You did see the pictures earlier. This elevation is the front of our building facing south, and this very closely mirrors what you saw in the pictures earlier. That would be the west side elevation. And you can see here, you can see the green awnings. We do provide outside seating. We have 14 spaces, I believe, of outside seating provided for customers. And this would be the east side. You can see our propane lockers. This elevation doesn't show them screened. We'll go through that here in a little bit so you can see what we're providing for screening. And that's the back side of our building showing the drive-through elevations. So we do provide a lot of queuing. As you can see, the drive-through windows are as far to the west as they could be, meaning as far away from our order point as they can be. So we provide as much stacking as we can possibly accommodate with our building size. We'll go through a little bit more of the drive-through stacking here in a few minutes. As you can see there, that's the typical fuel awning. It's exactly what you saw earlier on the pictures. So this is just a drawing of it, what we're proposing. Moving to the diesel awning, it's pretty similar. It is not slanted, it's flat. It does have some different elevations on it. Really, other than that, there aren't too many different changes from our standard auto awning. And that's what it's going to look like if you're looking at either north or south. That's what our awning is going to look like, just to give you an idea of what it's going to be. Dumpster enclosures, we provide a really nice looking dumpster enclosure. I have yet to have a complaint about one of these. They look great. They're full-size brick. We do really nice Trek skates on the front. We try to keep them looking really nice, so we build high-quality dumpsters. So a little bit of an idea here for the screening of what we're going to get with the ice machines and the propane lockers. We're going to do full masonry out on the sides. And then in the front, you can see that fencing that's metal. That'll be aluminum, and it will match all the other metal on the building. I thought I had one more slide showing a little bit more from the front, but you can see we're providing screening on all three sides of those. And that will be the same for the propane lockers as well. This is just a picture of a typical auto merchandising for windshield washer fluid. That's the only other thing we sell outside. We do not sell mulch, salt, anything like that outside of the building. So we don't do anything outside the perimeter. There's the screening I was talking about. So that's a look at the propane lockers from the front. So you can see what the fencing looks like in the front. Just a little bit more about the site as far as location. I think you're aware, but this is going at the northeast corner of Wick and Vining at the North Point development. It's a little more detail on the parcel. And this is our site plan. You can see on the very north side, we've got our 4 lanes for our truck diesel fueling. One thing I want to note, and I know this was a big concern, is that there are not overnight parking spaces at this location. We do not have any intention to do anything like that. What I will tell you is you can see on the diagram that we've pulled a truck forward at a stop bar. They will pull forward, run into the store, maybe use the restroom, grab a bite to eat, and leave. So they won't be able to park long-term there. I just wanted to make sure we were very clear about that. Just to the south of that, you can see our C-store. It's oriented in a pretty similar manner to what Royal Farms had proposed. And then just south of that is, of course, our auto canopy, which I believe also falls pretty closely in line with what Royal Farms had proposed. One thing I do want to note here is you can see the drive-through. I don't think this has a laser pointer on it, but you can see the drive-through canoe is pretty long, and does it have a? Oh, nice, look at that, okay. So we do have our drive-through canoe here, and we provide a substantial amount of stacking. The drive-through window is in this corner of the building. So we do have stacking all along here for customers that are in the drive-through. I would also like to point out that I have never seen one of our drive-throughs stacked back to this point, ever, even at lunch. We only do about 10% of just our made-to-order restaurant food through our drive-through. So we are not a Starbucks. We are not a Chick-fil-A or anything like that volume. This is literally just provided in order to be a convenience for our customers. Somebody's got kids in the car after a game, they don't want to get them out. They can drive right up to the window, get anything they want, minus alcohol and tobacco, and leave instead of getting the kids out, going through that kind of hassle. It's really just a convenience item for our customers. One of the last things I'd like to point out here, we have provided a robust landscaping plan, and I believe it very, very closely mirrors what Royal Farms provided. And Becky, I don't know if we increased it all, but I think it's exactly what Royal Farms had provided that was previously approved.
It's the same trees, the same species, the same number of plantings, we just adjust the plantings way outside.
So just a few tweaks to make it work with our site plan. One other thing I'll note to you is we do not like to intermingle our truck traffic. So we do have a hard barrier between there. So we won't have truck traffic coming through the diesel able to turn into our store. They have to go one way. So we don't have that intermingling like Royal Farms had proposed. Wanted to give you one more look at our outdoor seating. It's a pretty nice amenity that a lot of people use. It's all ADA accessible, and all of these structures that we use for seating are permanently affixed to either the pavement or onto the building. So they can't move, they can't get moved away or torn out or anything like that. They're welded in place. So it just keeps a nice, clean looking seating area that's always ADA compliant. And then I just wanted to give you a picture of a store that had just opened. I'm not exactly sure which location this is. I think it's in Cleveland, Ohio. But this is what we look like when we turn over for grand opening. So you can see we've got sod, and we hit the right-of-way. We do grass out in the right-of-way, which is typically city specs, but everything else is as advertised. This is a brand-new location that just turned over. So I would love to open the floor up to any questions you guys might have for us, or
Yeah.
anybody in our group that may be
Mr.
able to answer
Wadsworth.
some questions.
I think you answered my question about the diesel trucks. They will use the back portion of this and not the front portion?
Correct. They cannot get into the front portion. Our delivery trucks will be able to, but the diesel fueling trucks will not be able to get into the south portion.
Okay. I like what I've seen. If everything would fall into place for you, how soon before you'd be open?
So right now, we're looking at being open sometime in September of 2024.
Okay,
So we would break ground in the spring.
okay, all right, fine.
Ms. Abdo?
Thank you, John.
Yes, I was wondering if you're going to be providing charging stations for electric vehicles.
So we are working on developing our own proprietary charging technology. As it stands right now, we cannot go to, say, Tesla or EV America and ask them to buy their equipment. So we can't guarantee it. What I will tell you is we are pre-preparing our sites with ADA grading out to spaces that are going to be predetermined to be EV charging. So we do pre-plan our stores for that. So when we do come back and are able to get either Tesla or EV America or someone like that to charge, we can rapidly install them instead of having to go and tear up pavement, things like that to correct for grading issues. And it works out pretty seamlessly.
Thank you.
Any other from council?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, Tina, go ahead. I just have a comment.
Really quick, I know y'all do give back to the community through food banks. Do y'all do other, like giving back to local small businesses that give to the community?
If it's a charity, I would think we consider that. We do have funds allocated to each store, and I think the store managers are able to have discretionary funds available.
Okay.
Say there's like a local food bank or someone doing something for local community, they can take those applications and use
Okay.
that money as they see fit.
Okay, okay, no, that's good, thank you.
Ms. Roscoe?
I'd just like to say that I have quite a few people at my job that travel down into Ohio and whatever, and have heard that you're coming, and have been to your facilities down there, and they've had nothing but good things to say. You know, they're excited about you coming, they like your food, and you're kind of right around the corner almost from where I work during the day. So I haven't heard any negativity from any of them, and I don't mean just one or two. I've had about 5 or 6 people actually make comments about it and, you know, want to know where it's going to be located and so on and so forth. So that's encouraging because they're from all over the place. Some are from downriver, some are up from Livonia. So that's encouraging news that we're already getting good reviews from other people that's been to your facilities down in Ohio.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Bill?
I got one more question. I know we can't make you hire Romulus residents, but would you give some type of a preference to them?
We have done in the past local hiring events.
Yeah.
I can't promise that.
Well, I understand,
I'm not in
yeah.
a position to do that. I do know we do local hiring events. We hire all the time. So I'm sure when we post these that they all go and they show the city of Romulus as being where the hire is going to happen. So people that are local can definitely find that.
All right,
And I
fine.
know we post all kinds of temporary signage, now hiring. We do that several months out so that people know to apply, and it's pretty easy process to apply. So we do try to hire local people, yeah.
Fine, thank you.
I visited your store in Cleveland, I think it was. Very impressive. I was really thrilled. I said, wow, man, this is nice. I sure wish we had something like this in Romulus. And sure enough, wow, we got a chance to have this. One other thing I noticed, can you bring this with you? I don't know if you can or not. Unleaded gas, $2.59 a gallon. I'm just teasing.
Occasionally, we had a really big sale over 4th of July. I think it was at 1776. I think all of our fuel, other
looking at
than
that
diesel and
price.
E0, was $1.77 at .6.
Okay.
So it was quite the sale.
Okay,
So we do that from time to time. And then we also do deals on, I think, unleaded 88 and a few other things. So we try to really give back to our customers that way.
great. Very impressive. Thank you. Any other comments from council? No other comments?
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Mr. Chair and Council, then at this point, a motion would be in order to concur with the recommendation of the Planning Commission and approve the special land use request for SLU 2023-005 Sheets for a gas station and drive-through restaurant, subject to a revised site plan being submitted and any other items identified by other departments and agencies.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
if
Yes,
I
Bill?
can, I'm going to move that we approve SLU-2023-005 for 33380 Wick Road, special land approval.
I'll second that with a comment.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for motion for SLU-2023-005 sheet, and that's at 33380 Wick Road, and this is for a special land use request. Discussion, Ms. Roscoe.
Yes, I just want to so note, as the clerk has read into the recommendations of the Planning Commission, I want to make sure that's so noted. Thank you.
Any other discussion from council? If not, roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes?
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved. Thank you.
Takes us to number 4 on the agenda, the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Tonight, we didn't have any special meetings. And I just want to say, I want to thank Councilwoman Talley for filling in for me in my absence, the last council meeting. Thank you, Ms. Talley.
My pleasure.
And I'm happy that some more businesses are coming to Romulus.
Amen.
We just found out the sheet is coming, so that is great news. And at this time, that concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, to conclude the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved. Thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Madam Clerk, Deputy Clerk, and our audience here this evening and those at home. Before we get started with Mayor McCrate's report this evening, I would like to run a short video clip with our upcoming events presented by our own Vanessa Tolliver from the Mayor's Office.
Hello, I'm Vanessa Tolliver, and here are some events happening in Romulus. The City of Romulus has partnered with Downtown Strategies to host a strategic visioning workshop. A stakeholder input session will be held on Wednesday, July 26th from 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. to collect information and collaborate with attendees on the future of downtown Romulus. This is your opportunity to collaboratively share ideas, goals, concerns, and challenges toward the vision of downtown Romulus. The 5th annual Romulus Police Department Community Bike Ride is coming up on Saturday, July 29th from 2 to 5 p.m. The 4-mile bike ride will leave from Hell Creek Elementary and travel through the neighborhood. Following the ride, there will be food and fun and entertainment for the whole family. Big Steve's Designs is hosting the 2nd annual Rumble in Romulus Motorcycle Rally. This event will take place on July 28th through the 30th in downtown Romulus and is for motorcycle enthusiasts, as well as families to come out and enjoy the sights, foods, and vendors of all kinds. There will be a custom motorcycle show with awards presented. On Friday, August the 11th, there will be a full night of fun events for the family. Motor City Soul will take the stage from 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. for the last Sounds in Downtown of the season. Enjoy free live music and local vendors. Immediately following Sounds in Downtown, the fun will shift to the Historical Park Pavilion for the last free movies in the park season, featuring the Super Mario Brothers movie. There will be activities and games for kids leading up to the start of the movie. Thanks, everyone, and remember to like and share us on Facebook and YouTube, or visit our website for more information. Have a great night.
Thank you, Vanessa. Just a couple other quick things before I get into the mayor's report this evening. I do want to thank Colleen Dumas and Mike Laskaska from Community Services and Recreation for their efforts from Friday evening. I apologize I wasn't able to be there, but I understand we had a great turnout for the movies in the park, and Colleen had some games and things ahead of time, so it sounds like it was fun had by all. And as Vanessa mentioned, we've got our last Sounds of Downtown and movie night all combined together, so mark your calendar for that. Probably prior to our next city council meeting, start watching your mailboxes, because you should be receiving your next quarterly newsletter, which is going to give you updates for upcoming events in the months of August, September, and October. So that will include all the details for Pumpkin Festival, and obviously all of that information and updates you can find on the city website. A few other things in August that I do want to start highlighting. The first one is we're going to have a grand opening of Opportunity Park behind the Romulus Athletic Center, and that is scheduled for Monday, August 14th. Starting at 5 o'clock and ending at 7. We're very excited to finally be able to open that park, which was done with a lot of support from some of our local businesses, our TIFA board, and also through grant funding. So please plan to join us from 5 to 7. And on August 16th, Mayor McCrate will present his next One Romulus community meeting, and we encourage all residents to come out and participate. You know, we try to move those around the city. This one's actually going to be at Pentecostal Baptist Church. Pastor Willis is opening the doors for us to come in, and it's a great time for you to hear some updates on your community and also to ask questions and interact with your elected officials and some of your city officials here on the staff. So please plan to be there at that, and that's at 6 o'clock. And again, this information will be in your newsletter and also on the website. And with that, I would like to just present the mayor's report for you this evening. And the first item is 5A, and that is a request for the Senior Alliance 2024 Annual Implementation Plan. With council's concurrence would be to adopt the Senior Alliance 2024 Annual Implementation Plan for Aging Services.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to concur with administration and adopt the Senior Alliance 2024 Annual Implementation Plan for Aging Services.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, for the Senior Alliance of 2024 Annual Implementation Plan. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. Our next request, item 5B, is a request for no-fee permit for the Romulus Rotary for them to do their annual picnic at the Romulus Historical Park on Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023, from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m., and that date is available.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth.
I'm going to move that we issue a no-fee permit for the Rotary Club at the park on August 22nd.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for a request for no fee permit for the Rotary Club at Historical Park. Discussion? No discussion, roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next item, 5C, is a request to piggyback on the NCPA contract for the purchase of 4 Microsoft SQL Server Standard Core licenses sized for Laserfish.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to piggyback on NCPA contract for the purchase of 4 Microsoft SQL Server Standard Core licenses sized for Laserfish.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, for a piggyback on the NCPA contract for the purchase 4 Microsoft SQL Server Standard Core license size for Laserfish. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. And the last item on the mayor's report this evening would be a request to concur with the administration and consent to piggyback on the Dell Midwestern Higher Education Compact Contract number MHEC-04152022 for the purchase replacement computers during the 23-24 budget year in the amount of $19,091.90.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to piggyback on the Dell Midwestern Higher Education Compact Contract.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to piggyback on the Dell Midwestern Higher Education Compact Contract. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you, council, and that will conclude the mayor's report this evening.
Thank you, Chief of Staff.
Number 6 is the clerk's report. 6A is for first reading and introduction of an ordinance amendment. Upon receiving feedback from food truck operators regarding the current city ordinance on mobile food service, the building department, clerk's office, community development department, fire department, mayor's office, police, and ordinance departments met to discuss changes to the ordinance. It is necessary to change the approach to regulating food trucks in the city from a zone-centric to a mobile-centric approach, giving responsible flexibility to the current and future food truck operators who wish to conduct business in the city. It is requested that council approve the first reading and introduction to amendments to Chapter 26, Article 1, Section 26-3, Permanent Structure and Mobile Food Service of the City of Romulus Code of Ordinances. The amendments add regulations on the location of the portable food trucks or carts, and it allows portable food trucks or carts to be located on private commercial and/or industrial zone properties with consent from the property owners if said property owners hold harmless the city from liability and pay a site visit fee.
Need a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for first reading and introduction of amendments to Chapter 26, Article 1, Section 26-3 of the Romulus Code of Ethics, and this has to deal with the food trucks.
Can I get a second?
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for first reading and introduction to amendment to Chapter 26, Article 1, Section 26-3 of the Romulus Code of Ordinance. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have questions.
Yes, Ms.
This
Talley.
is a lot different than what we've looked at before. It's a lot of new stuff added on. So I just need somebody to kind of explain to me all these changes, particularly in regards to the Pumpkin Fest coming up, and we're going to have food and craft vendors. So just kind of explain it to me in those terms, how we doing with these food trucks and craft vendors. I just need somebody to help me with this. There's a lot going on here.
Well, basically, as far as the Pumpkin Festival and special events, the ordinance, they're exempt from this ordinance. Yeah, they will
And
still.
this is just for education. They're exempt because?
They are exempt because it is special, it's a special event that's being held. What we're doing here with this amendment, as you see, that you'll probably see a lot of food trucks pop up on private property. We see them at gas stations. You know, the first amendment was just to allow the food trucks and a process for the food trucks to register with the city and make sure that they have all the proper inspections and all the state and county licenses. But we found that the food trucks, the way it's written now, if a private property, I'll use the mobile gas station, for example, if they wanted to have a food truck, they would have to go through the zoning department and pay like $500 and go through a whole process and go through BZA for approval. So no city really does it that way, and food trucks are here, so we want to make it a little more user-friendly and kind of take it out of the planning department. And so this way, what this amendment is doing is allowing for those food trucks to be on those private properties, but we're holding private property owners responsible and liable, where they have to sign an agreement. They have to, again, hold the city whole harmless. They are taking responsibility. And then we will have, they'll file an application with us, through the clerk's office, pay a fee. We'll notify ordinance, building, fire, and then someone from the building department will go out and inspect the site and make sure that wherever that food truck is going to be, that it's, it's meeting all of the city requirements there. So it's a two-part, so we're making, in this change, for the private property owners to be responsible, hold them accountable. So then that way, if there is, for example, a food truck that's on private property somewhere, well, if the ordinance department will go check that site out, well, then if they haven't registered with the city, then they can shut them down. So we just want people to be responsible, and also, for the city, so there's no liability, to the city here. So this is what we've done. We've simplified the process. I know there's a lot of crossing out, but as far as we did not change it when it comes to private events that are happening. Let's see, I'm just trying to find that section here. It's in here for those special events, and I'm trying to find that. And also it gives, the time of operation, and also for those food trucks. I'm just trying to find that section there. But when it comes to the private events, city, that would not fall under this ordinance. They would still, yes, have to make sure that they're inspected, that they have, that the fire department would have to, conduct those inspections, but kind of going through this process. So when they sign up as a vendor, like say the Pumpkin Festival's coming up, so when they sign on as a vendor, they've already completed the whole harmless, and there's a vendor's application agreement that's signed, so that would fall under that umbrella. But just for a food truck just to pop up somewhere, that's why this ordinance, we've gone back and forth, looked at other cities and the different departments, we've all met. How can we resolve this and still be, food truck friendly community, because some of the businesses, but then, we're holding those businesses and those food trucks accountable and making sure that they've met all those requirements.
Okay, so we typically, before this, we really didn't have anything in place. Really.
No.
They can kind of just go wherever they wanted within the city and just pop up.
Well, what we did, a couple of months ago, you all adopted an ordinance. It was just to have, for us to have the food trucks, but they could only be on city-owned property. There were designated areas that we could have the food trucks. For example, like we have Sounds of Downtown. A food truck can be there. We even set it up a zone area here at City Hall in the parking lot. So if a food truck came in, met all the qualifications, completed their application, had all their inspections, and then they could actually set up a food truck right out here in the parking lot. But it seems like we haven't had anybody, come out yet. So it seems like they want to show up on the private property. But we have to hold those businesses accountable. And then they would have to wait for a BZA meeting. It was such a, of the process was just, and very discouraging here. So we're, after meeting, talking to food trucks, I want to give a shout out to Sean Mullins, who really called different food truck vendors and was calling other communities just to see what, how they operate. And then also a shout out to our building director, director of building, which, has a lot of experience. So it was a collaborative effort from all the departments, police department, we're all back and forth. What is going to work for our city and still comply with our zoning ordinance and our ordinance? What could we live with? So that's why this is before you.
So it's a
today.
little bit less red tape than we had before?
Correct.
Okay, no,
Correct.
that's
And
good enough. I
that's what
just, I
this
see
is doing.
red and then that's it. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Abdo and then Mr. Wadsworth.
So when it says pay a site visit fee, that fee is paid to the city then?
Yes,
And is it standard among all of them, or
when you say.
is it a standard fee?
Yes, it'll be, that's a standard fee for the, like, say, for the business owners, because someone from our building department will have to go out and do the site inspection. In the application that we're working on, which that will be part of, for second reading at your next meeting, so we're kind of working on that application with the city attorney, so that private business owner would have to kind of do a sketch, a schematic of where that truck is going to be. And so that's going to take time for someone to review that. It's an administrative fee. So where someone from the building department, and those funds will be appropriated to the building department. The food truck, for the food trucks, when they come in to fill out their applications, I believe it's $275, which again, part of that includes inspections, the administrative fee, going through all of the applications, and so there's just a little bit of time, for the clerk's office, the fire department, building and ordinance. So that's what these fees are, standard. And again, Sean made sure that he did some comparisons from other communities as well.
Thank you.
Bill?
Okay, I got a couple of questions
Sure.
now. Number one, I come in, I pay a fee for my truck. I pay $100. How long is that fee, or whatever the fee is, how long is it good for? A
It's
year?
good for a year.
For a year.
It's good for a year.
And and that gives me the right to go to all the businesses in the town I want, to pull in the driveway and,
Well, for the food trucks, that shows, that food truck has been inspected, they have a permit. Again, the private property that they
Okay.
show up on, we have to make sure that that business owner has registered with the city, and they've met all the requirements in that, and, they've signed the agreement and they've completed that application, so
Okay.
they'll have a permit. And on this list, again, the ordinance department, fire department, police department, everybody will have access in a list knowing who's where, and therefore, if there's a problem, we'll say, well, okay, we can go here. This is the person that is here. This is, Bud's barbecue wings or something is going to be
okay.
here at the field.
My next question is, there's no outside cooking with these trucks. They can't bring a portable barbecue and
No.
cook? No.
No, everything is done inside of the
Okay,
structure itself.
Okay, and the last question, is the Wayne County Health Department involved in this at all?
Right, the licensing, the food truck operators will have to have all the appropriate
From
state
Wayne
and
County.
county licensing, right, and they'll have
Thank
to
you.
present that. That's part of the package.
Question, John.
Ms. Roscoe?
So, once they're licensed for the year and they've had their truck inspected and all that through the county, they're good to go for a year. So my question is if you have certain businesses that want to have food trucks, do they have their site approved for a food truck, and then they can have any of these food trucks that we've approved come in there, or each time it's a different food truck, they have to submit to have that truck there?
They would have to notify us that, once they're approved to have a food truck, but they would have to just notify us that, okay, they're going to have a food truck. I mean, they're not going to have to pay a fee every time they have a different food truck. Once they have paid that registration fee, and there's been a site review and it's approved, then whatever food truck, we'll have to know when that food truck comes in to register, they'll tell us that they're going to be, I keep picking on the mobile station bill here, that's where they're going to be. We will check to make sure, okay, well, they've registered with us, the mobile station, so we know that, they're good to go. And
So-
those permits, and they, each private property owner will be given a permit, that they've been approved to have food trucks on their private property.
Okay, I guess my question, let me word it a little differently. I understand, so the business is approved, the truck is approved, and now the business wants to have somebody different every other week. This week it's this food truck, next week it's next food truck. They just have to call and inform you which truck is going to be there. They don't need to have to go through the whole inspection or anything for them again?
The food trucks will go through their inspections, but as far as the private business owner, that will be reviewed by the building department. In other words, once
Okay.
they let us know, we'll, kind of
just
do a
didn't know
workflow and notify,
If they were
different
just,
departments, right?
kind of
and-
stuck with one truck.
Right.
sort of
No,
say.
and if they're going to have multiple, they'll list that, they'll actually let us know if they're going to have multiple trucks. The important thing is that those trucks are inspected, approved, and they have all of the appropriate permits from the state and the county.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion from council? If not, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. And if
Thank
you
you.
have any other questions or things, just give us a call. This is a work in in progress, and so, it's a working document. If we find that it does not work, we'll be back to say, hey, we need to amend it again, but we've got to get something in place so that we can have control over what's going on now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, council, again. Takes us to 6B. We have a public hearing request, and just bear with me here. In accordance with Chapter 8, Article 6, Section 8-157 of the Romulus Code of Ordinances, the Building Department has submitted the findings and order of the Romulus Construction Board of Appeals and is requesting a 45-minute public hearing for Monday, August 28, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. to provide an opportunity for the property owners or properties in interest of demolition list 23-01 to show cause why their buildings should not be demolished or otherwise made safe. The date and time are available for the request.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Roscoe.
I'll make a motion for the public hearing request for Monday, August 28th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m., and I have a comment.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo for a public hearing request for Monday, August the 28th at 6:30 p.m. Discussion, Ms. Roscoe.
Yes, so I understand that the 11 addresses that are on here are the only ones that will be submitted for the public hearing? And then all the requirements to contact these owners have been
Yes, yes,
accomplished?
yes. As far as we know, yes.
Do we need to read those addresses into record now, just so it's another way of informing them that they are on the list?
Right now, we will, at the public hearing, we will read those addresses. Right now, it's just, we just need to schedule your
Okay.
approval just to schedule the public hearing, and then all of the, everything else follows, all the paperwork and notifying everyone.
One last question. After the public hearing, they'll have time to appeal this?
Right, and that's
After
right.
we've read in the addresses, if somebody hasn't showed up?
Yes.
Okay.
And
thank you.
everyone's notified, but we can't post that public hearing. And let me back up. Yeah, we can't post that public hearing until after you all have approved for us to establish it. Once you all have approved the request, then that's when the public notices will go out and everybody will be notified and everything will be posted for that public hearing date and time.
Okay, I just wanted some
John?
clarity on
Yeah,
that.
no, it's okay. I understand.
So you're saying that these people that own these properties will not receive certified mail?
No, they
until
will.
after this meeting?
Yeah, they
Already
will.
have.
Oh, they'll get it before the meeting?
Yes, oh, absolutely. We just need the date established from you all,
Okay.
then, yeah, everything's ready, then everything will start being mailed out,
Thank you.
certified mail to everyone.
And if
Yes.
I may, through the chair, you know,
Yes.
they've also gone to the Construction Board of Appeals already, and that entire notification process has already been filed, and a copy of those minutes are in your packet, too. So it's a very, I handled demos a childhood ago. It's a very exhaustive process to get to this point of being ready to present to council. So I think you'll see that they have followed all their procedures that are required.
And also I want to add that the city charter requires at least 10 days' notice, that we have, 10 days to notify these property owners, so, by certified mail. So we have plenty, that's why it's at the end of August, so that we have time to get everything out to them, because it takes time, with the mail, to get all this information to them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Any other discussion from council? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
All right, number 7 is the treasurer's report, there is no treasurer's report this evening, and the city treasurer asked that she be excused from tonight's meeting. And that will take us to number 8, public comment, and this is the portion of the agenda for those who are in the audience and who would like to address the city council. The rules to address city council can be found on the back of the meeting agenda. If you would like to address the city council, please raise your hand. And after being acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name. Please note that members of the public who submitted a public comment card will be called upon first. And you will have 3 minutes to speak, and any additional time will be upon the consent of the chairperson. Mr. Chair and council, we do have one written request.
Okay.
And we have Miss Joanne Polk. Yep.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. My name is Joanne Polk, and I have been a resident of Romulus since 1991. And my request to the council, I've talked to Lambert when he was in office, and I've talked to Burcroft, and they both told me that they didn't have the money for my road to be paved. There's only one block that's asphalt. The rest of it is cement, and theirs are all beautiful. But Ronald Street and my street, Washington Street, they're awful. And when the freeway closes or has an accident or something, we have 18-wheelers coming down Wick Road, and they take a shortcut on Washington. And I took pictures, and I showed, the mayors when they were in office, and let them know this is happening, and it's really damaging those two roads. And, they said they didn't have the money. Well, the money is here now. So hopefully they have enough to, because I guess ours wasn't on the list. So, I talked to other residents and asked them how they felt about it. And some people have ditches in front of their driveway because of the heavy vehicles that has come through there. And, they're damaging their car when they come out. I'm lucky. I paid to get my front piece done, me and 3 other residents. And so I just keep blacktopping mine, so mine is okay, but it's the street itself that is so damaged. So I was just wondering if, how to go about. I didn't know if I should, poll all the people on the block and get names and lists, or, what, I didn't know what to do. So I decided I'd come here and let you guys decide. And if I need to do something else, I could do that. But that is my request for that one road to be redone.
John?
Yes,
Are you
Mr.
talking
Wadsworth.
about Ronald Street or Washington or both?
I'm talking about
Ronald Street.
Washington Street. Ronald needs to be done too, but
Washington.
Washington is what I'm concerned with.
Washington off of
I'm
Wick,
sure the
right?
administration.
Between Wick and Ronald.
Right, I know what you're talking about because my daughter lives on the street.
Yes, she does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bad.
Yeah, I met your grandson.
Yeah.
So, but, that's my request. I'm hoping that that can get done. It should only take like a day. It's just a block. They did Wick. Wick is beautiful, but my street is still potholy.
Chief of Staff?
And if I may, through the chair,
Yes.
Ms. Polk, thanks for coming out this evening. And did the card that you submitted, did you leave your phone number and address with
I
the city
did.
clerk? Okay, perfect. I'm going to ask Roberto Scapitici, our DPW director, to get back with you. We've had several presentations in front of council looking at what we call our PASER ratings, where they go through and rate the conditions of all the roads. And I appreciate you listing some of the work that has been done, because we've tried to be creative with council's support to make repairs where we could. Funding is a long story and very difficult as it relates to road repairs and Act 51 funds. It's not a simple solve, but we've been trying to make repairs and seeking every grant dollar that we can to continue that. So I know that that area has been identified. I just need to find out where it's at in the process, and I will get with Roberto, and I promise you we will get back to you, and we'll update council as well, because it's been a couple months now since we talked about that
Right.
specifically, so, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Are there any other comments from the audience? If there's no other comments from the audience, Madam Clerk, we'll close that part out.
Number 9 is unfinished business.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes, I was wondering if we have an update on the Veterans Memorial. I keep getting calls, and I said I would ask.
I do. Our purchasing department has been working very diligently with the design plans that came back, and it's my understanding that those bid documents were released, and you should be seeing something in front of you for an award here very shortly, and then we'll be scheduling a groundbreaking, so.
Well, thank you.
Stay tuned, yes.
Is there any more unfinished business from council? Okay, it takes us to number 10, new business. Number 11 for approval is warrant 23-14.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion, we pay warrant 23-14 in the following amounts. General Fund, $172,222.90. Major Street Fund, $6,468.91. Local Street Fund, $262,893.63. Public Safety Fund, $49,379.78. Cable TV, $831.47. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $11,024.51. Street Lighting Fund, $53,364.62. Oakwood SAD, $202.22. Community Employee Activity Fund, $761.94. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $195,693.22. CDBG, $328,895.62. 911 Service Fund, $9,927.89. Law Enforcement Federal, $5,078. NARC Forfeiture State, $36.01. Library Fund, $12,682.97. DDA, $830.72. Tifa District 2, $7,713.29. Vining Road Extension E-Course Construction, $577.07. Water and Sewer Fund, $471,165.30. Motor Vehicle, $118,931.10. Technology Services, $39,038.51. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $5,263.91. Property and Liability Insurance Fund, $4,753.01. Revolving Fund, $2,510. General Tax Fund, $6,022.50. Delinquent Personal Property Fund, $22,296.27. Payroll Fund, $5,875.26. totaling all funds $1,794,440.63.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of warrant number 23-14 for $1,794,440.63. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Number 12 is communication.
Mr. Barton?
Yes, Ms. Talley?
Couple of things. Just first want to shout out to Jerry Frayer. We had a great music in the park on July 14th, and then a subsequent celebration after the music in the park. So great job to Jerry and the team and Chief of Staff and the City of Romulus and the whole team that came together to put that event on. It was a great event and a great celebration afterward at the Artisan Reserve. Thank you for that. And then, as Vanessa already put, the bike ride is this Saturday from 2 to 5. So dust off your bikes, come on out and support the police bike ride. It's a community event that the police do for the community. So come out, dust your bikes off, and come out and join us at Hale Creek from 2 to 5 on this Saturday. Want to announce that one of our residents, Yada Phillips, is hosting an annual. She has done this annually. Her company, PPIC, Yada Phillips, is a private investigation and a consulting firm here in Romulus, and she hosts an annual appreciation for our police and fire. That will be on Saturday, August 19th, at the Artisan Reserve Brewery on Goddard, 36542 Goddard. Please come out and support this event honoring our Romulus Police and Fire Department, hosted by Yada Phillips and her company, but she has a lot of sponsors this year as well, several sponsors. So please go out and support on August 19th at the Artisan Reserve. We have our Pumpkin Fest coming up. That's September 15th, 16th, and 17th. All I'm going to say is going to be big. So come out and support our city at our annual Pumpkin Fest, which is our 25th anniversary this year. And then lastly, I just want to mention, we got a quarterly newsletter from our Commissioner, Al Hayes, our Wayne County Commissioner, and it's filled with Romulus stuff in his newsletter. He's over, I think it's 4 cities. Romulus is packed in this newsletter. I want to shout out to Shyla Brim, who was our hometown hero this year, outstanding educator. She's in this newsletter from our Commissioner Hayes. In this beautiful picture they have of her, she's surrounded by these statuesque men. We got Pastor Threet from First Baptist Church. We have our Senator Darren Camilleri. We have our Commissioner Al Hayes, and we have our Mayor Pro Tem John Barton. Great picture. If you don't have the newsletter, or you ain't looked at it, pull it out. It's a great picture honoring our hometown hero and outstanding educator, Shyla Brim. Also in there is, and I know you're going to get sick of this, but we just got to say this one more time. Mr. Wadsworth is also in this newsletter, is being honored for his extraordinary dedication to the community by the Romulus Animal Shelter, now named the William Wadsworth Animal Shelter. So he's in this article as well, so great job. And just shout out to Mr. Wadsworth as well. And I just want to just say thank you from Commissioner Haddis. He has appointed me again to the Women's Commission. He actually put an article in there as well. Thank you for allowing me to serve my first term. I'm looking forward to the second term. And just thanks for all you do for the city of Romulus, and thanks for honoring us in this newsletter this quarter. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Talley. Any?
Okay, if there's no further communication, takes us to number 13, adjournment, and the time is 8:35.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Talley, for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are